Bengals broke the NFL.
The Bengals what?
We broke the NFL.
Think so?
It's broken.
Why?
I'm gonna debate that take, but if that's how you feel,
No, I'm just talking shit.
no. I'm coming with all the smoke today. Nobody's.
I think
Right.
the headline is the Dolphins, man. Dolphins are all over the news, bro.
How we feeling?
Bro, we have the fastest wide receiver core in the NFL right now.
One thing.
I don't think there's anybody that doesn't like this trade.
Yeah, oddly,
Besides the Chiefs, of course, and Patrick Mahomes. What y'all think of it?
I think Chris is going out again.
Hey, y'all ready?
This guy.
I know. Sitting here trying to record this thing. I think I only get like 40 minutes.
Okay.
There we are. There we go. We got whatever you're doing, don't touch your phone.
All right.
All right.
So
takes on it. Miami Dolphins signed Tyreek Hill to a 4-year, 120 $120 million contract.
75 guaranteed.
75 guaranteed. Hey, dude, hold on. There's a meme. I want to see if I can pop it up on here. Oh, shoot. How do I do that? Let's see. I can't. Anyways, dude, here, maybe I can show it to my phone. Xavier Howard tweeted this, bro.
Yeah. I seen Omar Kelly retweet that.
He just said tweets. I mean, them pics.
For real.
Oh God. But do we? I think we still have a third, fourth, fifth, and we have a fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh round. I think this year.
Yeah. What I like about it is you're not finding Tyreek in this draft, and you still have 2 first-round picks next year.
Dude, our depth chart is Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, Cedric Wilson, Preston Williams, and a couple no names. Isaiah, I don't know what they're doing with him.
Isaiah Ford, yeah.
But dude, I was talking to my dad earlier, and I was like, with the 2 running back, you know how Mike McDaniel, he's trying to install this like run offense because he went ahead and got Alec Ingold from the Raiders, the fullback. What do defenders do here? If you got Jalen Waddle on one side and Tyreek Hill on the other, both speedy receivers, then you got Mike Gesicki going up over the middle, but you also have one of 2 running backs that you can just hand the ball off to. Plus, we just bolstered the offensive line with Teron Armstead, by the way.
Yeah. They got some firepower, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm about to like hop on Madden in a little bit and just test this dude out real quick. What's up, Kelvin? What you think, man?
Okay, so I'm gonna be the party pooper here. No, this just how I see it. So when I was at work earlier, so I couldn't really give any type of input on it. But when I look at this trade, the only person that won this was the AFC West. Like in my eyes, like, don't get me wrong.
There's the Chiefs.
Yeah, the other teams outside of the Chiefs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Tyreek Hill is a 1-on-1. And on the Chiefs side of this deal, they botched it. I mean, last year they went to go boost to their offensive line. They, spent all that money. They traded for Orlando Brown. They picked up that lineman from the Patriots. I think it was a guard. And they should have paid Tyreek Hill last year. I mean, If you look at Mahomes' contract, he even took a pay cut to allow them to be able to have money for Tyreek Hill. And instead, they decided to kick the can down the road, and it always bites you in the ass. So so the reports I received was he was okay. Tyreek Hill was okay with taking a contract for between 23 and 25 million. And that was going to be the number. But the Chiefs stupidly
was an extension?
What was that?
That was an extension for how long?
With the Chiefs. With the Chiefs, it was going to be between 23 and 25 million.
A year.
And instead, they waited and stupidly let Devontae Adams reset the market.
Mm-hmm.
And in Tyreek's brain, you got to think about it. Like, the NFL is the only league where you're penalized for drafting elite players.
Yeah.
Because you have such a small window. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it. Tyreek Hill was drafted in what, third round?
Sixth round, bro.
Sixth round? Okay, sixth round. So, you know, he already has a Super Bowl. You know, he's arguably the best receiver. If you ask him, I'll guarantee you he'll say he's the best receiver in the league. I mean, he's definitely top three. You know what I'm saying? So for him at this point, I don't blame him. Like, I'm going to get the money. But for the Chiefs, like, this was just an absolute botch job. They're not, you know, it don't matter how many picks they recruit, which they got a good load for him. You can't find another Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? And then secondly, like, when I look at it on the Dolphins side, there's just a lot of questions for me. There's, you know, I'm like, you guys got guns and shit. Like, don't get me wrong. You guys got guns and shit, but it's like, do you know how to use them? You know what I'm saying?
That's the question.
Like, I don't know if Tua's the guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
easy.
And outside of that, like, you guys have addressed the offensive line. But the guard you guys picked up from the NFC East, I've seen him, and he's not. I've seen him, you know, be a turntable. So I don't even know how that's going to work out. You guys pay him some money.
He gets penalized a lot, but
yeah. So I didn't like that signing per se. So for me, it's like, if you guys are just going to do the same thing and throw these sideways slant 5-yard passes, it's like you're underusing what you have on your roster. Now, what you said earlier when we first came on video and you were talking about he wants to bring in this running game, that's what you guys need to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what do DBs do? What do defenses do? They, like, when they see these two guys on the opposite side of the ball and they send them on go routes or just so they can stretch the defense, then you open up the running game.
Right. And then on top of that, for me, like, Tyreek Hill is great. He's a great athlete. But what people fail to realize is I don't think his production will be anywhere close to where it was with the Chiefs. No. Because a lot of what made Tyreek Hill so great was Patrick Mahomes' ability to extend the play.
Yep.
And you're checking the fastest in-game receiver in the NFL. And you think you've called it the most beautifulest defensive scheme for a play. And then next thing you know, you look back and Mahomes still running around and he throws the ball for 70 yards and Tyreek Hill's there to get it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, you know what I'm saying? And this could change. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you got, like I said, you got guns. But I just hope you guys know how to use them. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if anything, this could just be another big signing. He got paid. He's going to be happy regardless. He has a Super Bowl ring. And, you know, the talent's just going to be wasted. So we'll see.
I wanted to touch on something real quick when you talked about the Chiefs not replacing Tyreek now. Like you said, I agree with you 101, but I'm going to read off a list of wide receivers the Chiefs have drafted recently. Let me pull this up.
This is why you got to have a piece of paper, bro, so you don't have to go off video.
Yeah, whatever. You can barely see me anyways.
Well, while he's pulling that up, I think people don't give Tua enough credit for how well he did on play action plays and rollouts. Like, obviously he's not going to be as good at it as Patrick Mahomes will be able to extend the play. That's because, well, Kansas City didn't have a great offensive line either, but the Dolphins' offensive line was at the bottom. Okay,
Horrible.
I think the reason why they brought in Connor Williams was because of he's a veteran, and that's what we needed. Number one on the line, because last year when we got rid of Eric Flowers, Brian Flores was kind of just like, no, we're good with these rookies. We'll straighten it out. And of course, he had like an offensive line coach who had no experience.
Right.
But you bring in Connor Williams, who has the veteran presence, plus a Teron Armstead. Okay, I still think Austin Jackson, as poorly as he played and as a bust as he's been so far, like, I think that's what he needs: experienced coaches, and he needs a veteran leadership to kind of help him. Jesse Davis can go. He can be one of the 7 players they cut. We don't know.
I got my list.
All right, go ahead.
All right, 2012, 4th round, Devin Wiley. 2015, 3rd round, Chris Conley, Deron Brown, 7th round. 2016, 4th round, DeMarcus Robinson and Tyreek in the 6th. 2017, Jihu Chesson. 2018, Tremont Smith. 2019, McCole Hardman. 2021, Cornell Powell. Yikes.
I got 3
that
names.
wide receiving scouting department stinks.
And on top of that, it's like even like let's just say like they got a bottom of the 1st round draft pick from you guys. But let's just say they had let's just say they had the number 10 spot and they drafted one of the guys from Ohio State or whoever it may be. There is not another Tyreek Hill. That like it doesn't matter what they replace him with. No team in the AFC West right now is like, they don't care. They're celebrating. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say, if you want to expand on it, the whole AFC won this trade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I look at it right now.
Where do you have them in the division now?
I don't have them winning it.
The Dolphins?
I got who you got? You guys got.
You got to go with the Bills just from their.
No, I'm saying the Chiefs, the AFC West.
Oh, the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Chiefs are still a team to beat.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, don't get it confused. They're going to be a good team. Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is still going to be Patrick Mahomes. But, I mean, they definitely took a blow. That offense will never be as explosive as it was.
No.
You went into Chiefs games.
Game either.
No. You went into Chiefs games like, okay. The Chiefs went into games like, okay, our defense might be horrible this game, but we're guaranteed going to drop 40 on your head.
Yeah.
And that's from
2 players, Kelsey or Hill.
Right. And that's no longer going to be the case. So like I said, this was absolutely crazy.
Who do you think won on the trade, though? You think with the picks,
I don't think
City came on top, or
I honestly don't think either team came out on top. That's just how I view it. Okay, so to extend on my point, name me outside of this year with Cooper Kupp, right? You need elite receivers to get to the Super Bowl, but an elite receiver will never win you the Super Bowl. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I just wish Bengals had a competent offensive line this year because I would have debated the fuck out of that.
I mean, but it's if you look at it though, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
outside of Cooper Kupp, like if you look at history, like don't get me wrong, you need elite receivers. You know what I'm saying, to get to the promised land. But what always wins you the Super Bowl? Defense or the quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
This is
why.
a make or break year for Tua.
So that's why for me, like I can't say, oh, the Dolphins won this trade, or I can't say, oh, the Chiefs won this trade, because for me it's just like, I guess on the Dolphins side, I'll leave it at a to be continued. But it's like, are we expecting the Dolphins to go on a deep playoff run because they picked up Tyreek Hill?
Well, it's gonna be tough to make the playoffs in that AFC period unless you win the division.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I struggle with it. I don't know if this necessary. I think the odds went from, you guys were 1-70 for the Super Bowl, and now it went to 1-40, I think.
Yeah.
That there was I think maybe it's probably Stephen A. Smith or someone else, or Colin Coward or whatever, Colin Coward. Who? There you go. Yeah, it's like right after the Super Bowl, they were like, "Yeah, it was a Cinderella story. It was great to watch, but I don't think I'll ever see Joe Burrow back in the Super Bowl." That's what he said.
Shit. Cow hurt. Give me a break. So, you will see Joe Burrow in a Super Bowl again.
So while we just talked about that, that's the perfect segue. When I was saying that the NFL is the only league that penalizes you for drafting elite players. Because, like when you look at other leagues around the league, like you look at the NBA, like those guys, they get endorsement deals. Like those contracts are bigger than their actual NBA salaries. You know what I'm saying? So they can afford to take pay cuts and stuff like that. But when it comes to the NFL, like these guys, you got to get the money while it's hot. You got to strike while it's hot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So look at the Saints, for instance. What was that? That 2000? When did Lattimore come out? What year did he come out?
Marcus?
Marcus Lattimore.
Yeah,
probably 1918. Maybe.
That draft that they had that year was absolutely insane. They drafted Kamara, Lattimore, Marcus. That's his name, right? Marcus Williams.
Yeah, Marcus Williams. Yeah.
Marcus Williams, Alex Okofo, or Alex, however you say his name, and a couple, like they hit on like 5 or 6 in that draft class. And now look at where they are. They bought all of them. They signed all of them. They were in cap hell.
Yeah.
And then now this year they lost, all. It's just like in the NFL is set up like so crazy. You get penalized for drafting elite players.
I think one of the things that hurt the Saints there is when the cap didn't go up because of COVID. Like usually it's going up $20 million a year. So they kind of they built these contracts, especially with the Drew Brees at the end, anticipating the cap to continue to go up. And then you had the COVID thing hit and it kind of screwed them. The Bengals are in the same position. 2 years ago, Joe Burrow in the first, T. Higgins in the second, Logan Wilson in the third. All 3 of them studs. All 3 of them come up at the same time. And then you got Jamar Chase the next year. Right.
That's why it's better off to that's why when you look at the Carson Wentz deal, when Philly, I'm not gonna lie, I hate Philly, but they have some smart guys in that office. When they extended Carson Wentz before his contract was up, and everybody was like, "Oh, he isn't proven. You guys are giving him that money." Look what that deal looks like now. Even though it didn't work out, but imagine if it did. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to jump ahead of this stuff.
Yeah. Buffalo did that with Josh Allen. They extended him as early as possible. And I expect the Bengals to do the same thing with Joe. I expect an extension at the end of this next year. Right. And yeah, it's going to be big, but 2 years down the line, when the cap jumps another 40, 50 million, when you get in early, it allows you some wiggle room there.
Right. So I got a question about, so now that you guys have Tyreek Hill, what do you expect your season to look like? And if your season isn't where you expect it to be, what do you think you guys do next year? Do you look for a veteran quarterback, or do you guys go with a rookie?
So I just saw some stuff on that right now. People were talking about where Jimmy G fits, and they were talking about, would you take Jimmy over Tua and Willie McGinnis? I mean, he pretty much said, or he said what I was thinking is like Jimmy G. He's about to be a journeyman for officially, but he's injury prone just like Tua. The only thing is, I like where we're at with Tua. I don't think we need to bring in Jimmy G for, I think we've got it. Tua's still developing, man. Like, I've seen what he can do when he's at his highs. If he can stay healthy, if we can protect him, if he can stay healthy, we'll be making a run.
I think the whole season for the Dolphins this year, obviously you want to think like we got a shot at the playoffs, we got a shot at competing at the division. You got all this firepower, but the main thing is, do we have our guy at quarterback? You know what I'm saying?
That's always the question for like every team, man.
This is going to be his third year in the league, and just a couple weeks ago was the first time we have heard the Dolphins quarterback or the Dolphins head coach say Tua is our starting quarterback.
That's why. All right, did y'all see the TO his podcast or whatever he does? He had like Brendan Scarlett on, and they were both praising Tua, dude. They were talking about how the Deshaun rumors in Cleveland after one day Baker wanted to trade. Tua dealt with the Deshaun rumors and the coach's garbage the entire offseason and then halfway through the regular season. Like a kid who's 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
Can stay like level-minded like that. Like the kid's got the skill set. He obviously has the mental ability to like just compartmentalize or whatever the term is.
Right.
Like shut everything out that's like and just like focus on his stuff. First year, he was, thrust into a starting role out of nowhere, and then had, ups and downs, and then they kind of switched him in with Fitzpatrick. The second year was going to be like a testing. He obviously did improve, but he also got hurt and was out 4 games. And like I said, Dolphins' offensive line is always, as long as I can remember, has always been an issue, dude. And with the Deshaun rumors, the shitty offensive line, the coach who doesn't, I don't know what happened to Brian Flores and his stuff, but like, I think I'm fine with Tua, man. Like, this is a make or break year. Like, if we give him all these weapons, we give him some protection, we'll see what we can do in the draft, or see if we can pick up anybody else like Treader from Cleveland. Dude, this dude has all these weapons and he can't improve from year 2. Then we start talking about like where we go from the quarterback position.
Right.
There's no reason. It's so funny.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, I was like, I'm a Tua fan, dude. Like, I believe in young quarterbacks, and especially what he's shown. Yeah, he's young, man. He's gonna make mistakes. Joe Burrow makes mistakes too. All right, as bad as you want to hear that, but
no, I call it out.
Oh, Chris, no, I point him out every single time.
Yeah, I'd say too that one of his biggest problems is something you kind of have to live and die with, is that he takes a lot of those sacks. A lot of those sacks aren't on the offensive line, but he's so well extending the plays and keeping his eye downfield and holding on to it for the last second that sometimes you have to live with that. But he's gotten a little bit better with kind of knowing when to just tuck it and run for 4 or 5 yards. But that's my biggest knock on him, is the way he holds the ball.
Yeah. I think I was going back to that T.O. thing. T.O. was saying like when he stopped by the campus every now and then and was trying to work out with Jalen Hurts at the time, but Tua was there, and he's like, he had never seen a true freshman with the ability that Tua had. Of course, that was back in college or whatever, but like I've seen glimpses of him like where he'll throw a pick and then the next possession he's marching down the field 80 yards like methodically, and then like we either kick field goal or he puts us in the end zone. Like I've seen enough to where it's like, okay, he just needs to develop. Like he's shown evidence that he can learn and learn from his mistakes and stuff. So if I'm taking Tua, who's injury prone, or Jimmy G, who's injury prone, I think I like Tua's athleticism more than Jimmy G's.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's so funny because now I'm sitting here, and this off season for you guys is like reminiscent of like our last off season. And even though like I think you guys still had a like right now like our roster last year and your roster this year, I think you guys have better talent than we had. But just far as like the big moves, and then also having that quarterback that like the fan base is divided on, like half of them is like, okay, this is the year that we got to see something. And then some people are just like, oh, we want to move on. You know what I'm saying?
People are patient, man. I mean, you got to give.
Especially Miami.
Oh, yeah, dude. Because, like, we were great back in the 70s and, yeah, and in the 80s with Dan. But, like, because we've been in mediocrity for so long, they want to see consistency, like, in the playoffs, like the Ravens or something. Like a team like the Ravens that's always in the playoffs or, you know, I mean, they might not get over that milestone or that, you know, they have trouble, but like a team that's consistently making the playoffs, like now the Bills, who were crappy for so long, and then they got Josh Allen, and he didn't do so well his freshman year or his rookie year, and then he transformed, and now the whole Bills it's no longer the Patriots that's the top of the AFC East, it's the Bills.
There's something really weird going on behind me. There's like 3 dudes doing like some karate exercises as they're walking down the street.
Some Cobra Kai?
Yeah, pretty much.
So my hot take is at some point, I think that Lamar Jackson ends up a Miami Dolphin. And I'm going to just leave it at that.
But so I was get back around to the Giants, dude. I want to hear about the Giants because Jimmy G was in the conversation in the Giants too with Daniel Jones.
So we made a couple more moves since we last had our podcast. Nothing of note. We got what's his name, Berea. We got an extra guy in the backfield. We let Booker walk.
That was weird.
But like I said, you know, it seems like this connection between like Buffalo and Baltimore and Washington and Carolina, like it's like this weird, like it's like we're all recycling players to each other right now. We also picked up D tackle from the Ravens, wasn't a starter, rotation guy, just another depth piece. So we've just been making a lot. Like I feel like the coaches are just bringing guys in, like culture guys, like guys that's been in their locker rooms before, played with them in previous teams. Just because it helps when a coach comes in, it helps to have like some guys that knows your system, you know, to make that transition easier. So. Like I said, we just been doing a lot of low-key signings. I mean, I like them because, like I said, they're not splash signings. They're culture signings, and they're guys that know their system. Winks brought a couple guys in. We haven't done too much on the offensive side other than running back. And like I said, we got 9 draft picks. So
don't you have like 2 in the first round?
Yeah, we have 2 in the first round. We have the 5th pick and the 7th pick. So most of our work is going to be done in the draft, but like I said, right now we're just bringing in guys to help, you know, bring a culture in and help, you know, guys come along. So,
yeah.
I'm hoping that we can dump a couple more contracts, but it doesn't seem that we're getting any phone calls on Bradbury. I was hoping that the Bengals would give us a call and look for a physical corner, but
it still might. I know we're somewhere between 5 and 9 million in cap space right now, and what I'm hearing is if there's going to be one more move this offseason, it's either going to be a veteran corner or possibly getting lucky and getting Ogunjobi back.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite signing so far that we made was, this might sound crazy, is Tyrod Taylor. Like I was telling one of my other friends, because he was ragging on me, he's like, you guys, 17 million, Tyrod Taylor, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, he's got $8 million guaranteed. And I'm like, for us, we don't have that franchise quarterback to where we can have a no-name as our second string and just be okay. So for me, Tyrod Taylor can win you 3-4 games, but that's all you're going to get out of him. So I thought that was a good signing for us. And also, I think if there's anything in Daniel Jones, which I'm done with him, I don't care if he threw 27 touchdowns and had only 7 interceptions this year, he needs to go. Try it somewhere else. But, that'll bring some competition to camp and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Any quarterback for the draft you're eyeing?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't want us to touch quarterback this year, but I do love Kenny Pickett.
I can see Pickett in the Giants jersey. I can also see Pickett in the Saints jersey too.
I do love me some Kenny Pickett. I don't know what it is, but
I can see Kenny Pickett holding a clipboard like
anything about Saquon?
Nothing, no updates on Saquon. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything.
I wonder if the Chiefs go after him.
Come get him, please.
They ain't got the money, man.
There's just certain faces in our locker room that I just don't want to see anymore. And he's at the top of my list.
Saquon?
You can't trust Penn State running backs.
Who was the last Penn State running back that was decent besides Saquon?
No, that was Wisconsin.
James Conner?
No, Conner was Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Curtis Enos. Ryan's too young for that.
Yeah, man, you can't trust Penn State running backs, man.
Speaking of running backs, Joe Mixon is about to have a year.
I hear that every year.
I know.
Players that aren't even Bengals fans.
For me, but this offensive line, my goodness.
Oh, man. I got to find a way to get Deontay on this.
I know we got to get Deontay on here. The Bengals drafted an offensive lineman last year. He got hurt early in the year after playing good in the preseason. He went to the same high school as Ryan. So we've been at him on Twitter trying to get the Grovetown alum on.
So, Chris, what direction do you want you guys to go with this first round pick now? Because I'm pretty sure it's probably changed since you guys made these couple.
I mean, to me, if Zion Johnson or Tyler Linderbaum somehow fall, I'm okay with them picking them up and plugging them in and just making the line better. But it seems to me that unless they trade out for whatever reason, it's going to be cornerback. I wouldn't be surprised if it was defensive tackle, if something slid there. I mean, the way they've done this offseason in addressing need, which is my philosophy, buy need, draft talent, they pretty much put themselves in position to go best player available throughout the draft. But, I mean, it would really be nice to have a corner that can come in there and either win the job from Eli Apple and have Eli as your fourth corner, or even somebody that can, develop under him and give you some good snaps. I can tell you one thing, whoever we draft in whatever round at cornerback, they're going to give us a lot more than Trey Waynes did.
I'm seeing right now the latest mock draft taking Andrew Booth.
I would love it. Oh, I would love it. I don't see him falling there, but that would make my day.
So it's funny because in my first mock draft pre-free agency, I had the Dolphins trading out of the first. So you guys didn't trade you guys traded the first, but not for who I expected.
They traded way the hell out of the first.
Yeah. So I got a part of it right. I just didn't get the necessary details right.
Man, I wish we would have recorded that. I mean, I did record the video, but there was no audio. Your prediction for Devontae Adams.
That was absolutely insane. Like
that would have been a hell of a way to start off Kelvin's hot take.
Yeah. That was insane. This off season is just, I mean, that's why you could feel comfortable saying the craziest takes now and it could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
I got Joe Mixon leading the AFC in rushing. How about that?
I wouldn't be mad at that.
AFC rushing. You know, starting to think about it, like running backs, like 3-down running backs are starting to be a downward trend.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them left.
They're hard to find, man. They're hard to find.
So, question for both of you. If you're the Chiefs, do you take some of that draft capital and try to trade up in this year's draft, or do you just wait until next year?
No, I'm not trade. Trade up for what?
They got two
I'm just
back picks now.
I'm just wondering. I'm just stirring up the pot. Do they trade up and try to get their guy, whoever that may be? But I mean,
I don't see it. I mean, you're gonna have to go really far. Maybe Jameson Williams, and that's the closest thing I think from a talent perspective to Tyreek. But I mean, you got all that draft capital to get one guy that probably not even going to be what you just let go.
Busted knee.
Yeah.
I had the Dolphins taking a receiver in my latest mock, but
it ain't happening now.
They got one.
They did take a receiver.
All right, so there's a lot of empty holes around the NFL. Like Seattle needs a quarterback. I guess, New Orleans just signed an extension for Jameis Winston, so I guess they're not going to be looking for anybody right now, probably in the draft. But can y'all see Baker? Hey,
Carolina needs a quarterback.
They do need a quarterback. I saw one of those jersey swap tweets or whatever with Baker in a Giants jersey.
Yeah, that's not.
He would die. Hey, I just seen a tweet. It said, because you remember the Dolphins had the third pick last year before they made the trade with the Niners.
Right.
And said that Chris Greer flipped the third pick for Jalen Waddle, Tyreek, and a first.
That's what I'm saying. It's like next year we'll be solid. We got 2 first rounds. But hopefully we don't trade them away thinking that we're going to be good and trade them away to some team that we think is going to suck and they end up like decent. Like this, like
I got a take on the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs missed the playoffs this year.
That's a bold hot take. It's a bold statement, sir.
I mean, the defense got worse. You lost Tyrann Mathieu. You lost your number one corner, Javarius Ward.
Well, they haven't lost Tyrann Mathieu. He's still.
They cut him.
They cut him, but I mean, like, you ever seen a player cut and then like they come back and for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, but they signed Justin Reed to play that position.
That's right. They gave him a pretty expensive deal.
Justin Reed, right?
I mean, they lost them, but at the same time, I feel like safety is one of those positions where, you know, they wanted to they got younger and cheaper at the position. I don't see it as really, you know, such a thing that'll make their defense any worse than it was already had.
Well, losing Travarius Ward and Melvin Ingram transformed that defense last year. That defense was terrible before the Melvin Ingram trade.
Yeah, he did a great job when he came in.
Their defense and their offense got worse.
Yeah, but they still have Mahomes.
That's cool.
I can't bet against him. Just can't do
Hey,
it. I'm not saying.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'm not saying that they're going to make it deep into the playoffs, but I mean I see them at least. When you say playoffs, do you mean wild card included?
Yeah, they're missing it.
I don't see that one. If I'm the Chiefs, I go grab Landry right now.
I was thinking that I didn't want to go too much about it because I've already thrown around too many names. But I was as soon as I said Julio, and I was like, Jarvis is looking for a win.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with that is essentially him and Juju are the same player. They both do the dirty work, you know, not scared to block and stuff like that. But I mean, you need something, you know what I'm saying? So
I would love Jarvis. I've always liked Jarvis.
I think the NFL, I've noticed this over the last couple of years. Like, we're so used to okay, this is the outside receiver, this is the slot receiver, and it looks to me like some of these teams are taking each out of the NBA's book and just going positionless, and just look at the Dolphins. You would normally say they got three. I mean, Tyreek can be considered an outside receiver because he can get outside, but Cedric Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, they're all usually the guy that you would play in the slot.
I can see so many bunch or trips packages where they're kind of lined up right next to each other.
There's going to be a lot of motion. A lot of motion.
Golly, dude, they're going to ruin people, bro. If I'm telling you, man,
they're going to try to run that same thing that San Francisco does with Debo. It's like a verge, but it's like a seam across the middle. And if Tyreek catches that in stride, he's out of there.
That's what I'm saying. I was thinking earlier, I was like, the closest person to Tyreek in the league is probably Jalen Waddle. As far as
I said that coming out in the draft when we were talking about Chase and Waddle, and Chase was the guy, but I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see Waddle have as good of a career as Tyreek, because when I turned on his film in Alabama, he's always open, but I would just watch him run away from dudes.
Yeah, that's why right now, I mean, you guys got new coaching staff and stuff in there, but because I just feel like there's way more in Waddle's tool bag than what they've been doing with him. So
I'm just looking forward to the Mike McDaniel's press conferences. That might be the thing I'm looking forward to the most this year.
I always get so excited in the preseason. Why is the preseason and the offseason so it's because you want to see the picture unfold.
The NFL is king, man.
Yep.
How's March gets doing? I couldn't get mine in before they closed it.
So while we're talking about the off season, I wanted to play a little game. So we're looking at the draft, and we're looking at the first round only. And I want to do position by position. So I'm gonna leave the quarterbacks out of it because there's nobody knows. But if you had to look at, so I'm gonna start with the receivers. If you had to look at the receivers, if any player in this first round was gonna be a bust, who would it be?
In this year's draft?
In the first round, yeah. Like a high projected receiver.
Who's the bust? Oh, the receiver?
Yeah.
All right. Can y'all still see me, or is it grayed out?
Yeah. I see.
All right.
Oof. I'm gonna go Drake London.
Wow, you took mine. That's exactly who I was thinking.
It's hard though. I like all those first round receivers.
Yeah.
I think he might end up in a bad spot though, and it's not going to go.
I just think unless he develops more, I just feel like he's a one-trick pony. He can go up and make the catch, but he doesn't create any separation.
I can see a Devontae Parker type career from him.
All right. Well, let's twist it around a little bit. Who do you think is the best receiver in the first round?
I got Olave.
I battle with this on a daily basis.
Who?
I got Chris Olave.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw his pro day.
Right now, for me, it's Traylon Burks, but that could change at any moment. I'm just in love with the Deebo Samuels type of receiver right now, and he fits that mold perfectly, but he has size on him. So he's like a A.J. Brown, but with like the athleticism of a Deebo Samuels.
Sorry, I had to text the wife.
What about you? Who's your guy?
I was gonna pick Chris Olave.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought Kelvin was going to battle between his two Buckeyes with Olave and Garrett Wilson.
Well, you remember I told you that, like, if you would have talked to me 3 weeks ago, it was Olave without question, because I just feel like and I still feel like this. He's a sound route technician. I mean, his if you look at his route tree, like everything is effortless.
Yeah.
And it's just smooth.
I haven't got it first yet.
And then if you looked at Olave's combine, like when he ran his 40, I mean, that just put the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But then I started getting interested in Traylon Burks, so I went back and looked at his film again. And like I said, with the way the NFL is moving, he's not your traditional, but he can be. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he has the body frame of an A.J. Brown, and he can go up and make the catch, but he's also shifty like Deebo Samuels. So I just want the right team to get their hands on him and just see what he does.
Dude, this is really bad to say, but I was watching Malik Willis's pro day, and he reminds me of Jamarcus Russell for some reason.
Bruh. Chris said that earlier.
Oh, God. I don't think he'll show up to training camp like 40 pounds overweight, but I could see him he looks like a good kid the way he was talking or whatever. Like, definitely wasn't like Jamarcus where he wouldn't play as a first round pick until he had his money.
Right.
And then
my thing is like I get it, like, ooh, you throw the ball 80 yards, but it's like
that's what Jamarcus was doing.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just to me, it's like if you watch the kid's film, like, for one, there's just questions there for me. Like, you started at what school did he start at?
Auburn.
At Auburn, and then you didn't win the job, and then you go to Liberty.
Isn't that like a D1 AA school?
Yeah.
You go to Liberty, and don't get me wrong, you dominated competition that first year there, and then this year here, you threw a lot of interceptions. And the one game that they had against who was that? Who did they play? Oklahoma? No, it wasn't Oklahoma. It was Ole Miss.
Did they play Ole Miss?
Yeah, it was Ole Miss. Matt Corral.
Okay.
There's some accuracy concerns with me. And the decision making at times is not there. He reminds me of my comp for him is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Jalen did it against good competition too.
Yeah. But from what I'm seeing, that I'm hearing that Pittsburgh, for whatever reason, is high on the kid.
Yeah.
They never gave Mason.
They sent the whole staff to the pro day. They gave Mason Rudolph a shot, and Myles Garrett buried him.
Yeah.
So I got a question about. So there's people and pundits out there that are saying that Kyle Hamilton is going to be the closest thing to Sean Taylor.
Get the out of here. I wouldn't even let him say it about Derwin James.
They were comparing him to Derwin James.
Stop doing this to people, bro. Give the kid a chance.
That's what
Derwin had the. If anybody was gonna just sniff his heels, it was gonna be Derwin. It's not, bro.
And
just leave him alone. Let him rest in peace. Let these kids have a career.
Like, people don't understand. Like, I feel like a lot of these people that like report on sports and stuff, they're like, it's like, do you actually watch football, or do you just like read news stories? Because Sean Taylor was an android. He wasn't even like a human being.
No.
I mean, at that size, the sideline, the closest thing that I've seen to him, and the only reason it's not that close because of the size difference, is Earl for me.
Yeah. It's still not even in the same stratosphere.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, for me, like the sideline speed, the intensity that they play with, like, Earl Thomas, he's the closest, I would say, like, okay, whatever.
Bob Sanders.
He was a
rocket.
He was a hit machine, but I don't think he moved as quick.
That poor guy was put into a body that was supposed to be 6'4", 250, and he was like 5'11". He was a friggin' missile.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So is everybody in agreement that Carolina takes a quarterback at 6?
They have to. I read a report that they're not interested in Baker, and I don't blame them, but they have to take a quarterback. I was trying to look at, like, I expect them to take Malik Willis or trade up for him, but I was trying to find a way or where Pittsburgh goes up to get him. And I think it would be either one of the Giants picks or one of the Seahawks picks.
Is Cam done?
I mean, yeah. Is he still on the Panthers?
I think not.
He
signed him to a 1 year.
No. Yeah, he had a 1-year deal. And I honestly feel like they used Cam as I feel like I did like their coach, and now I don't like him. I feel like they used Cam as like a scapegoat situation, like for him to take the blame instead of Matt Rule, like,
which is a heady play.
Yeah.
I tip my cap to.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at him for it.
So I have an update. You remember last pod I said that right now my as far as the best player in the draft, I was rolling with Sauce Gardner. And now I'm not even sure if I still think he's the best corner in the draft after looking at some more tape.
Go with Stingley.
I think that I'm going in the Stingley direction. He's looking like a generational talent, man. And then what put it over the top for me is the man had to guard Jamar Chase
in practice.
Yeah.
Did you find film on that?
Yeah. And he's another one of those players that I was talking about that just everything looks effortless.
He had to guard Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I like him. I think I had him to the Jets at 4.
They got him going to the Texans at 13.
No way.
I see him at the Vikings at 12.
I can't see him getting that far. I can see the Jets taking him at either 4 or 10. I can see the Falcons taking him. Shit, I can see the Giants taking him.
There you go. That okay. I know what the next thing we're talking about too. I know we've been on quarterbacks like all night, but okay.
While we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, so I need the guys to make some sense of this for me. So I talked with somebody previously, and I was saying, like, what direction is this franchise going in? Last year you had
full rebuild,
arguably, but if you look at it, last year you had arguably 5 quarterbacks that were all projected to be of high value, and you didn't take one, and then now the next year you trade your quarterback, which you still took a massive cap hit on. And now you have absolutely nothing.
Who's their backup behind Ryan before he left?
Well, they signed Mariota, and they got Felipe Franks, the loser from the Gators.
Did they get Mariota today?
No, I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I think me and Kelvin were talking about this. My take on the whole Falcons situation with not taking a quarterback last year is I think that the coach was concerned about being on the hot seat and trying to save his job. And I think he went Pitts, which was a generational talent, and figured he had Pitts Ridley, and he was going to try to salvage his job by winning 8-9 games.
That was his first year as a coach last year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, then throw that out the window.
Mm-hmm.
He's an idiot.
Well, go ahead.
I just don't understand. Like I said, I'm just at awe at what's going on over there. I mean, you kept Ryan last year and already been working on developing a rookie quarterback.
I think they had high hopes to bring in Deshaun.
Well, the Deshaun thing that started up this year. That was never in question any time prior to that.
No, I've been talking about it, Matt Ryan, leaving for a couple of seasons now. Yeah, I don't know.
Just a weird situation to me. I would love to talk to somebody in that front office and just see what didn't you see in the draft last year that you felt that you couldn't take I mean, unless you, like Chris said, I mean, you know, Pitts is a generational talent, but I mean, it all starts with the quarterback. So,
Did Julio leave before the draft last year?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. That's why they were looking for a generational pass catcher after Julio.
I had something on my. Oh, you know what's the most peculiar thing about this draft with me right now is what the hell the Lions are going to do.
They had Malik going to him at 2.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
If he goes, it's going to be not like a Jamarcus Russell situation, but I don't think he's going to flourish in Detroit.
I think with Goff still under contract, I think they're going to play it safe and continue to build the team around the quarterback and wait for a more surefire thing. Like they can afford to wait till next year with Goff under contract.
Yeah.
And the only player that I see, so they got Sewell last year and they got Taylor Lewan at tackles. So both the tackles are secure. So it's like I can't see them drafting an Evan Neal and a Kwanu, Charles Cross. I can't see him taking a tackle. I think the only player that they really want to draft there is Hutchinson, which I think the Jaguars are going to take. And I know that it's been reported that they're willing to trade out of 2. So you got to imagine they're trying to call somebody to get to I don't think they want to make a pick in that 2 spot.
Yeah. Because, I mean, essentially, in my eyes, I mean, unless you're looking at an offensive, unless you're looking at drafts, offensive lineman, outside of that, and cornerback, outside of that, I mean, you're essentially from 1 to whatever looking at the same player.
I don't want to take a corner at 2. I want to try to get Carolina to come up to 2 and get the quarterback and take a corner at 6.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as far as my draft grades, you can get the same player you getting at 2 at 6 or 7 or 8.
I could see him taking Thibodeau, but I don't know.
What did the Falcons get for Matt Ryan?
A
3rd round pick.
Yeah, they got 1/3, and
I think that was it.
They took on this full contract in the I think he had a roster bonus or something.
I know the Falcons got stuck with $40.2 million in dead cap.
Yeah, in dead cap, yeah. Isn't it crazy that like teams like the quarterback thing has become an absolute, like, teams are willing to eat crazy numbers and cap dollars in order to, you know, move on from a guy or find their guy.
Yeah. I don't think it hurts the Falcons to eat it this year because you're not going out and signing anybody. So they could afford it.
Got the quarterback, not this year.
I'm curious to see how Mariota does there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying is like they probably just got him just to kind of keep them afloat for, I don't know, 6-7 games. And then they'll be looking for one probably the year after. But why are we always talking about quarterbacks? I don't know why they're so interesting. So I wanted to get Buck on here last time. He's just going to talk. He's just going to talk. He doesn't really I don't know. I was going to ask him. He was done with Tannehill after that playoff game. He was like, they threw that game. I'm like, Tannehill out of all people is probably not going to throw a playoff game because he's not going to be, you know, he just wouldn't do that. But he's done with Tannehill. I wonder if
I love Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me 3 presents.
What were those?
Interceptions in the playoffs.
All right. So outside of quarterback, so if we're looking, the landscape around the NFL has changed with the power split. The power split has changed with the AFC and the NFC. So now, if you're looking at the NFC, what would be your? I mean, of course you got. Okay, so let's just do from 1 to 7. How many teams make the postseason? 8, 7?
7.
Did they change it? Is it still 7?
Yeah, from what I know.
So who are your 7 teams? Let's do this exercise.
Bucks.
So you could.
I'll get here. We'll just go around the table.
Permanent marker: the Bucks and the Rams.
Okay. Right.
I got Denver.
Denver's
in the AFC.
Oh shit! My bad. I keep thinking. I just thought Russell Wilson for some reason.
Yeah.
So
I think I'll throw the first. I don't know what you would call it, but Minnesota.
Okay.
Green Bay.
We got Green Bay.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on them.
I'm sold over them over the Vikings.
No, I'm just saying.
Division.
I'm not sold on them right now. But okay. Then you got the Cowgirls, of course.
Yeah, they're with that division. That's what we should have done first: is the division winners knock out 4 of them. So the Bucks win the South, the Rams win the West, the girls win the East.
I don't know if the girls win the East now. I honestly feel
like Washington for some reason.
I honestly feel like Philly, depending on what Philly does in this draft, I honestly feel like Philly and Washington can compete with them this year.
I think they'll compete. I think the Cowboys pull it out.
I think this is another one of those years where they go like 7-10 and make playoffs because they're at the top of the NFC.
I think Philly and Washington will absolutely compete with them. I just think the Cowboys pull it out.
Oh, wait, we're getting too ahead of ourselves. All right, so we said the Bucks, the Rams, Green Bay, Vikings.
He said the Vikings. So, and then you got Cowboys.
That's 5.
That's 5. You got Arizona.
I wanted to say, I was like, dude, I wanted the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll put the Cardinals in there.
And then we got one more slot. San Fran. And I'm questioning that one. That one for me only because I don't know what Trey Lance is going to be.
I don't think it really matters in that system. I mean, let's face it. Jimmy did not light the world up last year.
Yeah, but Jimmy also didn't make mistakes.
He made some mistakes.
I mean, but I'm saying, though, he's a game manager.
Yeah.
He's a game manager.
I think that's all they're going to ask Trey to do. I think they're going to run the ball with Debo and fucking you got Kittle still. Ayuk came on pretty good. Trey looked pretty good in the game or two that he played.
Yeah.
Give me so many ideas. We're gonna have to do like our predictions and stuff before the season.
The NFC is not going to be as fun as the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many games that are going to be must see TV. Like all these quarterbacks we're back to quarterbacks. All these quarterbacks on new teams.
Back to the quarterback.
I watch all the games anyways.
If the Bengals aren't a prime example of you need the guy or you're out.
I want to watch Deshaun.
We got the guy, and we were in.
Oh, I'm gonna see Deshaun in person. I live 20 minutes from the Cleveland Browns stadium.
Yeah.
I'll be up on that train, bro. Giants fan.
Yeah,
So,
I definitely.
I
never thought I'd say it, but I want to take a trip to Cleveland.
You should come for the when they play the Bengals.
I know. I'm gonna have to okey doke Jess and be like, you know what? We're missing Kelvin. We're missing Nevaeh. We're missing Nicole. I think we should get together.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be another like Michael Vick story, you know.
Except that he didn't go to federal prison.
Right. But he did take a year off.
Mike was in there for like 2 years.
He was.
So the Titans made a trade that is low key and nobody's really talking about, the Robert Woods trade.
Oh yeah. I like that trade for them.
What do you guys think about that?
I love that trade for them. I also think Tannehill stinks.
Yeah, Tannehill is horrible.
I still gotta like because I like did my room and stuff with like all like the Dolphins and Hurricanes shit. Still like my little man cave. I had to put a poster up, and the only one I had left that was Dolphins was Tannehill poster, bro. He don't even play for them anymore.
If I'm the coach of the Titans after that playoff game, like I can't even look at you. Like I can't look you in the face anymore because there was so many opportunities for him to win that game.
Tannehill.
The Bengals left that door open for a while.
My favorite part of the game was they had a clip of Tannehill laughing at Burrow one of the 9 times he got sacked.
Yeah.
And then there's a mic'd up where the Titans are driving down the field and there was either a timeout, a TV timeout or something, and they get to the sidelines and Mike Hilton knew that they had a play coming up with that little screen. And Mike looked at, I think, Awuzie and Bates, and he's like, listen, I'm coming off this corner blitz. I know he's going to throw it. He's going to throw it, and I'm going to pick it. He can't help himself. And sure enough, they rolled that little bootleg, and Hilton, one of the best blitz and slot corners in the league, comes running down his face. And what does he do? He throws it right at his head. Picked it off. And they go back to the sidelines, and Mike was like, I told you he was going to throw it. I told you he couldn't help himself.
Oh, man. I think we should let's start closing it there.
Cool.
No, I appreciate y'all coming back on though.
Yeah, man, it was fun as always.
Who they?
Until next time, man. Until next time.
Just when we get into the AFC talk, just remember how this crown looks. I don't want all this talk about the AFC West and the Chiefs and the Raiders and the Chargers and Deshaun Watson. The Bengals got the crown. All roads lead through Cincinnati.
Yeah, you're right about that.
We'll see. All right, boys.
All right, man.
All right.